Good morning. We're going to do 6-7 today, so I'll go to that assignment. And I've got your answer sheet, the instructions, and the problems that you need to do. And then there will be this video up here as well. I'm going to go ahead and open my answer sheet and go over the study guide instructions if it loads. Okay, so at the top it says the percent equation is an equivalent form of the percent proportion. In the percent equation, the percent is written as a decimal, which you might have done last week if you didn't just calculate the percentages of the numbers mentally. So you have these 3 examples. It says solve each problem using the percent equation. Find 22% of 95. So you write 22% as a decimal, which you do by just moving the decimal to the left 2 times. So I'll show you here on Smooth Draw. So I have 22 as a percent. Ooh. Really, the decimal's here, but we don't need to have a decimal at the very end of a whole number. It's redundant. So I would move it over to the left 2 times for the percentage, because percents are out of 100. So now I have a decimal that's written 0.22. And if we remember our place value, this is the tenths place, this is the hundredths place. So 22% written without this decimal here, just written like this, means 22 out of 100. And this 0.22 written like this also means 22 out of 100. The difference is just the format. This one's in a percentage format and this one's in the decimal format. So back to our problem, our first example, it says find 22% of 95. So we're solving for this number that is 20% of 95. So we switch the percent to a decimal by moving the decimal over to the left twice. We get 0.22 times 95. And if we do that in a calculator, then we'll get 20.9. So 22% of 95 is 20.9. The next one is set up a little differently. It says 15 is what percent of 75? So we write our equation like this. 15 equals, 15 is what percent? We don't know, so we write a variable of 75. So we multiply it by 75. And then all we have to do is divide both sides by what's attached to the variable, which is 75. So I'll show you over here. Oh boy, my computer's being slow today. 15 equals n times 75. Make sure I wrote that down right. Yep. And then what you would do is divide both sides by 75. So that then we have n by itself on one side of the equation, our variable all by itself, isolated. And we simplify what's 15 divided by 75. We can go to our calculator. 15 divided by 75. Oops, that's the wrong number. 15, what's happening? Divided by 75. Okay, 0.2. So if I were to write 0.2 as a percent, I would just do the opposite of what I did to go from a percent to a decimal. This time I'm trying to go from a decimal to a percent. So essentially I'd move the decimal to the right twice, fill in this blank with a 0. So 0.2 is 20%. So our answer for that example, 15 is 20% of 75. Last one, 90 is 20% of what number? So again, you write your problem. 90 equals, 90 is 20%. We turn 20% into a decimal. We move the decimal over to the left twice. I'm going to show you why they wrote 0.2 instead of 0.20. So I'm switching 20% back to a decimal, unlike turning it into a percent, which is what I did. I moved the decimal to the left twice. So then I have 0.20. If you want to write it like that instead of 0.2, that's totally fine. It doesn't matter. It's just that this 0 is not significant. You don't have to write it down if you don't want to. 2/10 is equal to 20 out of 100 proportionally. So that's why that works. Okay, so I get 90 is or equals 0.2 of what number? I write a variable. I don't know what that number is, so I write n. And then when you have that set up, just like in the other one, we divide by the number that's attached to the variable, which in this case is 0.2. So I would divide both sides by 0.2 to get the n by itself on one side of the equation. If I divide 90 by 0.2, I go 90 divided by 0.2, I get 450. So 90 is 20% of 450. And we'll go ahead and start on some of the problems for our homework or assignment. So you'll see like these are all written kind of the same. Find 9% of 410. And then these ones are all a little bit different. So you do have to read them carefully to figure out where to put stuff in to set up your equation. So if you're just finding 76% of 25, you switch the 76% into a decimal by moving the decimal over 2 places to the left. So I get 0.76. That's the same as 76% because they're both out of 100. 0.76 times 25 will equal our number. So I'll just go to my calculator. I'll go what is it, 26? 76 of 25. 0.76 times 25 equals 19. So on my answer sheet, I can just write 19, or I can go above and beyond and write that 19 is 76% of 25. Now, these ones are pretty easy. The ones that just say find a percentage of a number, switch it to a decimal and multiply. So I'm going to skip over all the rest of those, but I'll start here at 8. 256 is what percent of 80? So we write our equation 256. Yuck. Bad drawing, sorry. Is or equals what percent of 800? Don't know. So I write n times 800. Set up my variable where I don't know the value. Divide both sides by the number attached to the variable. Divide both sides by 800. Oh yeah. Stop picking on me. I'm not going to do it on the other side. You get the idea. That cancels that out. And you're left with n equals 256 divided by 800. 256 divided by 800 equals 0.32. But we're asked for a percent, so we'll switch the decimal into a percentage. That says 32 out of 100. So if I want to write in decimal format or percent format, I'll write 32%. write it on my answer sheet. And if I want to go above and beyond, I could say 256 is 32% of 800. Okay, do another one last one. These ones are all set up the same way now, so it's just the same steps. So I'll do number 9. 36 is what percent of 240? $36 is what percent, oh come on, of 240? And then I solve for my what, or my variable, the number I don't know yet. It's attached by multiplication. We undo that by division. What we do to one side of the equation, or equal sign, we do to the other. And then we're left with, on this side, we have our variable, our number that we don't know, but will as soon as we plug this into the calculator. So we go 36 divided by 240 equals 0.15. But it asks us what percent, not what decimal. And so let's just switch this to a percentage. 0.15 means 15 out of 100 in decimal form. 15 out of 100 written in percentage form would just be 15%, because percents are out of 100. So for my answer sheet, I'll write 15%, or if I want to go above and beyond, I'll go back, check what it is. 30%, or 36 is 15% of 240. What is happening? Okay, and when I'm done with all of these, there will be a turn in button here for you guys. If not, if something crazy happens, then here, watch this. You go to edit, select all, you copy it. For some of you, that's like Control C. And then you can go, where did all my stuff go? Okay. You could go to, like, I'll show you something that I'm in a class for. I think there's a spot where it says your work. You can create your own document if for some reason the document that the teacher has provided is not behaving. I'll go to view my work. And then, how am I today? I'll do that assignment. I click view details. And they've already created this doc, but you can create your own. Add or create. Google Doc. And this is how it should show up for you, because I already created this document for you. But if it's not working for whatever reason, you can just create your own. And then I paste it here. Some of you, that's Control V. For me, it's just right click, paste. And then sometimes it takes a little bit, or you have to like type something, and then you have the option to click the turn in button. So hopefully that helps. Good luck with 6-7. You only have 14 problems this week. I'll see you on Wednesday for class.